everybody. Welcome to the August 2019 live event. And my subject this month is tips for living in the new world. So why did I choose this subject this month? As you know, every month I choose a subject. Often is guided by the questions that come to me. In the last 2.5, 3 years, I have been running circles called Waking Up to the New World. And this involves an invitation from my part originally to bring people together to create an ideal world for our dreams to come true and live that world here and now. And of course, this is something that requires a community, at least for me, and that's how I started it. And I call the new world the world of our dreams. And from infinite possibilities, we can create any world we want, but somehow we are limited with our previous experiences in the world. And those beliefs and experiences that come from the past, our ancestors and our unconscious, they limit the worlds that we can precipitate. Even our imagination is abrupted in some way. So these circles, why circles? This is some method of coming together, which I learned from Filiz Telek. It's a method in which we come in a circle, like our ancestors did, with a fire in the middle, where we talked the truth of our hearts and witnessed each other, witnessed each other's aims, goals, experiences, truths, everything, in an environment where it is non-judgmental, non-critical, and it's all very personal and real, very supportive environment. So new world for me come about because I was living in a very concentrated therapeutic work schedule. I was working like all hours of the day and creating articles every week, videos every week, and it was quite tough. And one day I decided, is it how I want to live the rest of my life? Especially as my family, I wasn't able to spend any quality time with them. I was very tired, I was very worn down. So I said, this needs to change. And I wasn't making any real contact with people as a therapist. Like, obviously I'm real as a therapist, but there's a hierarchy in the relationship, and I'm always in the listening mode or helping mode. Whereas in a real relationship, you are equal and you share yourself at a deeper level. As a therapist, I'm always the person who is the professional position, let's say. So in the circles, as I invited other facilitators to join me, and they were willing to come, I wasn't always the facilitator. I was sometimes the participant. Another good aspect of this new waking up to new world circles is that nobody has to pay anything except if they want to contribute. And the first call came from me, but the next one and the next one, either somebody needed it or somebody initiated it, asked for it to happen, opened their home. That's how it's evolved so far. Somebody always expressed a need and called for it, and we gathered around that person with a team that they chose. But always, even though there's a team, sometimes what happens in the gatherings always is determined by what comes through with that gathering. You cannot predict. There isn't like a list of things to do from the beginning. Obviously, we have some ideas about what to do, but the needs of the community that comes together for that gathering determines what happens exactly when. So this sort of free-flowing atmosphere and non-judgmental and non-materialistic perspective of these gatherings touches me very much, and this is what I mean by the new world. That was what I was aspiring to, and I created this community by creating this system. How it came about, I have no idea. I just wanted to change my life, have a more intimate relationship with people around me, create a world where people were relating to each other in deeper kind of way, and this idea came to me. That was a transition from where I was to where I wanted to be. And so the new world has no limits. From infinite possibilities, we manifest, we precipitate a world to live. Our present moment is the world we live in. How you relate to your neighbor, to your partner, to your child is how you live. So let's look at the tips. So this is the background to my idea of new world. The first and foremost tip I want to give is to be open to learn and hear and listen to the young people. They are one upper model than us. Our children have come after us. They have got things to learn from us, but they also are freer from the baggage of our experiences to a certain degree, and we have to listen to what they say and be receptive to their creativity, to their concerns, and we have examples around us how young people are bringing a new perspective and a new focus into our world. So let's carry on doing that, and let's pay special attention to what young people are saying. Another very important tip I want to give is the choice of language. What language are we using? Is it a language of criticism, judgment, negativity, fear, or is it a language of love, possibility, potential, and acceptance? So words are like giving a new program to yourself and to the world, saying that this is my reality. I would like to precipitate this reality. And I choose to focus on what is working, on what is possible, what is available, what is wanting to happen in my reality. And I release the limitations from my history and belief system, and I open up to the possibilities. So, and the best way to do it is to focus, not force. Never ever force has created what we wanted, but focusing, giving attention to what we want to achieve, we want to manifest in life. That's what creates the new realities. We always manifest, even when you think you don't. That's why Henry Ford said, "What if you think you will achieve, you are right. If you think you won't, you are right too." So your belief system is creating your reality. So I would like you to choose your words very carefully. And if you remember one of Toltec wisdom, they call. I wrote in one of my articles, but you might have read the books, also talking about the importance of words, changing your words from negativity to positive and to constructive ideas. Don't talk about anything negative about people or about yourself. Choose good words. You might remember that experiment where the Japanese scientist has put some different words on bottles of water, and the photographs of the molecules from the bottle has responded to what was written on the bottles. And they have repeated this experiment with plants, like they were talking to plants. School children have done that. You can look on YouTube. They looked at plants. They talked to them nicely. They ignored some of them, and they said negative things to some, and those who were neglected, not talked at all, or those who were said negative things, they withered very quickly. Whereas the one that has received positive reinforcement, positive words, attention, they flourished. So it isn't to say that we can't talk about any negative things, but when we do, let's do it in a positive kind of way. I also would like to point out how sometimes painful situations and painful experiences make us close our heart and not make proper connections with the world, with the outside world, and it's like a protection reaction, but that's something that is limiting us and the world. So in the new world, we are opening us up to this higher self and the good essence in all people, and especially in ourselves, and relate to the world with openness and with trust. You might say, yeah, how can we trust? Look at the world situation. There are trees cut, there are women battered, children having to study themselves to illness. You know, all these things are happening, but what are we going to do about it? Are we going to feel victimized and close ourselves and feel sorry for ourselves, or open up and manifest the good essence in people's hearts, especially in ours? And when you start living that essence, then you will see the world around you changing, very rapidly changing. So allow yourselves to experience this change. Another tip I want to give is to be in nature and to sit in nature, to listen to nature, to be quiet in nature, and to stop the internal chatter and external chatter as well, and stay in calmness and open yourself to the healing quality of your environment. Even if you are in a city, even if you live in a maybe in an apartment that's not away, the nature is far away from you, you can't see trees, you can actually visualize, let yourself go to those places internally. But if you have availability to be in nature, if you come out of your home, walk 100 meters, 200 meters, 500 meters, a kilometer to be in a garden, then do it. If you can cycle to the garden, even better, you can exercise at the same time. And spend time in nature. And another thing I would like to give you as a tip is to do one thing at a time. We are so sometimes greedy about experiences, knowledge, or anything really, and then in order to, let's say, get more information or be exposed to more ideas, we just rush, or try to do too many things at once. For example, I was doing something similar. Maybe I said it before, but I will repeat it anyway. I was doing the washing up, and I thought I should listen to the music or a talk or something like that, so that I don't waste time. You see, quote unquote, washing up is waste of time. It isn't. It isn't a waste of time. What you do, if you do it with presence of mind and soul and body, it is not a waste of time. It's a time to relax. It's a time to be one with what you are doing. You are washing up, cleaning your dishes, and it is something that is to be cherished. Making your environment beautiful, yourself beautiful, enjoying making the food like my husband is doing right now. And he's just such an example to me. He does what he does with full attention, with joy in his heart, and not striving is something that I have still to learn from him. In that sense, he's ahead of me, as he's often the case, because we have that much of an age difference between us. He's discovered many things before me, and sometimes it's quite difficult for him and for me to find the right balance. But overall, today, I want to share with you another tip, which I have adopted in the last month, and also I've been exposed to understanding our links with our ancestors, and it didn't make sense for a very long time, and that finally dawned on me. And we are here thanks to our ancestors. We wouldn't be here without them. Whereas when we think of our ancestors more than anything else, often most of us think of what went wrong, what negative influences come to us. Obviously, good things also come to us. You know, all the things that are told about our ancestors, the photographs, the memories that we have, good memories, but also the negative ones. And of course, most of our history has got wars and migrations and maybe famine, poverty. Therefore, we have always some part of suffering in our histories. So in order to address that, I realized what I needed to do and what the new world needed for in relation to our ancestors. And I signify it with this candle. And I burned this candle. And this signifies for me, only a symbol, obviously, you can have your own symbols. This symbolizes for me, I'm going to put it like this so that it's easier to show you. My gratitude for all the forces, people, elements, materials that brought me here today. It includes my contemporary friends, teachers, those who are alive and not, neighbors, those who made a difference in me, sometimes in an easy way, sometimes in a difficult way. Sometimes I felt like they were hurting me. They created a lot of suffering in me, and I thought maybe I was a victim because of that. So even those, I actually am grateful for, because I am who I am, thanks to those experiences. And they are showing me parts of me that needed to be seen and healed. And I am still in the process of witnessing those difficulties through relationships, and rather than feeling victimized by them, I'm taking responsibility and being grateful for their presence, and always focusing on how I am here today thanks to them. And I continue witnessing myself through them. So they are my mirrors. All this reality could be considered as my mirror. And I'm your mirror. You manifested me. So this candle for me signifies my gratitude for every element that made me possible. And also I invite their support and presence in my reality. I know that there are lots of forces that make manifestation possible, and what sort of manifestation occurs. I don't know all of them, but I know that asking my ancestors and support, and also feeling gratitude for all experiences, is what is gonna make possible our dreams come true, our new world to be our reality. So I hope that this ancestral connection makes sense to you and you use it, because it took me very, very long time to understand and to feel, to incorporate into my life. Now I feel that it puts me in touch with my higher self much easily, being able to acknowledge every day their presence in my life. And that helps me to connect from my heart, and the difficulties, the events, whatever happens that might cause fear in me, anxiety in me, I release them with trust with the higher self, with the our common consciousness. I let love to reign in my presence. I would like to share with you another of my activities that might be interesting. When I visited Italy, I met a lady who wrote this book, Ayten Aydın, Ascending to Truth by Way of Converging Minds. And she asked me to write a postscript to this book. And she's another inspiration. Another friend of ours introduced us, who wrote a book about theory of love, synthropy, and I will write in my postscript a little bit about these things and why and how the new world is going to be possible here and now with our choices. So I suggest you to focus rather than force. And also, the reason I called the New World, Waking Up to New World Circles, is because being a community is very facilitating for this sort of manifestation. It's easy to feel lonely and isolated, feel a bit at a loss with what's happening. But when you are surrounded with like-minded people, it's much easier to continue along the path that you have chosen, and that to make your new world present here and now. Okay, I'm looking if there are any questions and comments. I think there is none so far. Yes, I am choosing these live events subjects according to the questions that come. during the month. And if you have special requirements, let me know. And if you are interested in New World Circle, waking up to New World Circle, you can. And we organize a time and place that suits both of us, and then we invite other people. That's how it works. So this summer we did, interestingly enough, abundance. The subject matter was abundance, and then of course we got Deepak Chopra's abundance, 21 days of abundance program that came to a lot of us. And in fact, it requires them on the third day to start your own group. And when I did that, I realized that a lot of my friends have already been on the course several times, which was wonderful. Like, they want abundance in their lives, and all the tools all the tools they need to focus pour in their way. But I went to Tamera last month. Tamera is an ecological village in Portugal, and there was this beautiful writing on one of their main halls. It said, when you live a sacred life, all the knowledge and information and tools you need to live that life accordingly will pour into your way. And that's what I discovered, that when we have these values and we know, follow these tips, I would say, focusing on our words, choosing to be open with our heart, focusing on love rather than fear, and being in touch with nature, looking after the aesthetics, doing one thing at a time, enjoying what we are doing, relating to people from our heart, and honesty, and looking after our communities, first ourselves, of course. These are what makes it possible. These are how we will be manifesting our present. Okay, this is our time. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next live event in September.
You and your loved ones are significant. To receive regular tips to help you achieve more autonomy, visit my page.